Okay, here we go. Recording in progress. Absolutely. All righty then. Let's get rocking and rolling here, folks. So I thank you. Thank you for being here. My name's Miranda Lewis. I am a certified dream builder coach and life mastery consultant. I'm going to be looking sometimes over here at Facebook Live and also sometimes over here at my Zoom meeting. So forgive the fact that my eyes moved left and right. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm glad that you have taken the time to be here to invest in yourself. This is all about the power of vision, three keys to mastering your results. So many of us simply don't know how to get out of our own ways. We're stuck in our life. We know there's something more, but we just don't know what it is. Or we've got all these ideas and we just can't seem to figure out how to get started on them. And so that's what we are going to talk about today. We are going to talk about this power of vision. Three keys to mastering your results. So I want to start with a bit of a funny story first. It's pertinent. You're going to see a connection here. I heard this story about a mother mouse. This mother mouse was taking her children, her baby mice, through the house and they came upon a cat. And of course, as soon as the cat saw the mice, the cat started to show its teeth and get into a preying, kind of hunting position, of course. And now the mother mouse, being protective, she pushed her baby mice behind her and she got up on her hind legs and she put her hands up high and she said, "Woof, woof, 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 woof." And the cat ran away scared and confused, of course. And the mother mouse then turned to her children and said, "Now, children, let that be a lesson to you. You can always benefit from learning another language." Now, of course, that's supposed to be a funny story, but it does actually have a great deal of relevance to what we are going to talk about today. We are going to talk about a language that the rest of us all need to learn as well, and that is the language of success. So, is there an area of your life that you would like to improve? I want you to play full out here while you're with me. Put your hand up if that's you. Is there an area of your life that you want to improve? I think most of us feel that there is, right? And that's perfectly reasonable. Absolutely. My intent today is threefold. I'm going to give you three tools to help you achieve your goals. These are tools that you can take with you. You can repeat them, use them again and again. They're proven, and they're going to help you get where you want to be, from where you are to where you want to be. I'm also going to help give you greater clarity on your goals and dreams. Many of us have so many thoughts going around in our heads, we're really not sure what are my biggest or most important prioritized goals and dreams. And then finally, you're going to feel more confident in your ability to achieve those goals and dreams. It's one thing to have a couple tools. It's another thing to at least have an idea of what the goals are. It's a whole different thing, though, to have that confidence, that knowledge that you can, in fact, step out and achieve those dreams. And I'm going to help you do that. So, have you ever achieved a goal or a dream in your life? I think most of us have. I certainly have. Many people, of course, have achieved a goal or a dream. More importantly, though, have you ever achieved that goal or dream or any goal or dream in your life, but didn't know how you were going to achieve it when you started working toward it? You didn't know, you weren't sure how to, and yet you did it anyway. And yet you achieved that goal or that dream, whether you knew how it was going to work out or not. Now, that just goes to show that you are, in fact, far more capable of more than you know. Okay? More capable of far more than you know. All right? Just like a blade of grass. Blade of grass, it's small, it's not very strong, it waves around in the wind, and yet a single blade of grass can, with that singular goal and that positive mentality, can grow through concrete. It will find a way to get up through that concrete, find the crack, find the water, find the sunlight, as if some angel or something or some being is over top of it whispering, grow, grow, grow. Our goals and dreams are often born out of the challenges that we face, just like that grass seed that had concrete over it. Many of us see challenges in front of us, and that actually helps us to define and invigorate our enthusiasm to achieve our goals and dreams. We see this in our lives through two different signals for growth. We all have these. We have these in our own ways at various times in our lives. We have a longing or a desire for more of a particular thing. Or on the other hand, we have a discontent. A discontent, those things that we want less of. So longing, those things we want more of. Discontent, those things that we want less of. Now, as the Reverend Michael Beckwith would say, we're often pushed by pain until we're pulled by a vision. In other words, we kind of just let life continue to push us through those things that are uncomfortable and painful and that we really don't like until we get that inspiration, that vision that says, come here and pulls us in. Now, in our lives, this pain of a problem and the burning desire for something new, this is essential for making new results. If all we do is just roll along every day, we will live a new day every 24 hours and a new year every 365 days. The pain of this problem, this burning desire to get a new result, gets us out of that rut, though, that default pattern, and helps us to create those new results. And the new results are what we really want. Let me tell you my own story of how this pain, this longing, this discontent pushed until the vision pulled me. I was distraught. I was dumbfounded, lost, angry. I had just read an email that said I was no longer in the job that I had previously been selected to be in, and there was no warning. This was an email to the entire organization saying, hey, welcome these new leaders. And one of them was going into the position that I currently held. What do I do with that? I was angry, lost. What was I going to do now? I wallowed for some time until it occurred to me, this is not the end. This is actually a defining moment for me. This is an opportunity for me to say, okay, let's rewrite my story. Let's pull myself up and let's move forward with definition and definiteness. So at that time, at that moment, I made a decision. I made a decision that I was not going to be defined by what external organizations and groups that I was a part of expected or told me to be. I struggled my whole life with my own identity as a person. And through this decision that I was going to move forward, that I was going to rewrite my own life story, I was able to do the deep introspection and the difficult work to identify myself authentically and move forward and redefine who I was in this world to truly be the person I was meant to be. And through that decision and the actions that I took, the bold actions, not knowing how it was going to work out, but knowing where I wanted to get to, I am living my dream now as a woman in this world, sharing my coaching skills and training and helping other people to live their best, most amazing lives that they absolutely love. Now, my promise to you is in the brief time that we have together here, I'm going to give you my very best to help really ground these first 3 steps of the 10-step process of the Dream Builder program. Because these first 3, they're the foundation. You can really move forward with these. And I'm going to give those to you as clearly, as enthusiastically, as effectively as I possibly can. And for some of you, what I share with you is going to really resonate, and you're going to want to maybe go forward to go further and work with me to get the next 7 steps, to get the whole story in a proven, repeatable, amazingly productive system that I myself am a product of in the Dream Builder program. Okay? And for those of you who do feel that this is for you, I have a special gift at the end. Okay? Hope that sounds good to you. So, in all of our lives, every one of us, we are all creating results. We're creating results every moment of every day. The key, though, is understanding that we create results in one of 2 ways. Either by default, things happen. We breathe for 24 hours, we've lived a day. We created a day of life. What we created in that life, though, is either by default or we started that day with a mission, a design, a goal, and we create by design. So our results either come out of design or by default. We let it happen to us, or we take charge and we drive that ship where we want it to go. We achieve all of our results in our lives every day in health and well-being, in love and relationships, in vocation, and in time and money freedom. And in coaching, we call these the 4 domains of our life. There are many ways that you could categorize your life and the events and the achievements and results that you get in these different areas. We've chosen to separate them in these 4 quadrants, very similar to a lot of different self-help ways of doing this. And we're going to talk about all 4 of those here. So what I want to share with you here is how results come about. There's a thing called the results formula. While we're all getting results, we often don't know, or we've misled ourselves into thinking we know how they come about. Let me share this with you. Our thoughts that we have, which we're having all the time, constantly in our lives, right? Our thoughts are actually creating feelings in us. I think this makes sense. Most of us can figure that out. If I tell you that you're late for work and you can't find your car keys, you probably, just from me saying it, you kind of start to feel the feelings of franticness and, oh no, I can't find my car keys, right? The thought that you're late for work. I just said it to you. I just created that thought. You aren't actually late for work right now necessarily, I hope. It gives that feeling though. So the thoughts that we have create those feelings. And when we have those feelings, we tend to behave in certain ways, right? Those feelings create particular actions. If you are feeling frantic because you're late for work and you can't find your keys, you probably scurry about the house and you're gonna maybe raise your voice and yell at yourself or someone or whatever. And those kinds of actions, of course, create a result. I mean, by law, actions create results. There will be a result of one kind or another. For example, if you move around frantically, trying to scurry around and find your keys, you might stub your toe, bang your hip into the corner of the counter, whatever, right? Those results that we get. Now, unfortunately, most people don't realize that this is actually the process. Most people look at it kind of backwards and they say, well, I'm thinking these thoughts and feelings, these feelings because of my results, not recognizing that, well, that's backwards. That's not really how this works. They feel that all of these things are their be causes. I think this way because of my feelings, and I feel this way because of these actions, and these actions are happening because of these other results. And it is actually the other way around. We must start with understanding that our thoughts are what cause everything in our lives. And if you want to check what thoughts you're having, you just look at your results. All of these we call be causes actually are coming from the thoughts that ultimately create our results. So if you want to know what you're thinking every day, all you got to do is look at your results. What results are you getting? Results don't lie. If your results are not what you want in your life, change your thoughts. I'm going to show you how to do that. Create new results. We create new results with a very singular first step. Notice what you're noticing. You need to notice what it is that your mind is focusing on. Where are your thoughts resting throughout the day? You see this first so that you can correct those thoughts, right? Noticing is part of your thinking process. So notice what you're noticing first so that you can correct if it's not where you want it to be. What we're going to do real quick is together, we're going to do a life assessment. I want you to first notice what are the current results that you're getting. Okay. A little noticing what you're noticing in your life. Okay. So perhaps you are a person who doesn't know what your dream is, right? You just know there's something more for you, right? I said this earlier. Or maybe you got lots of dreams and you just don't know whether to choose one, pursue them all, or how to start anyway. Okay? Every one of us fits into one or both of these categories. And every one of us has a dream inside of us. But do you know what the dream is? Let's find that together. So let's notice our current results. First thing I want to look at is in this domain of health and well-being. I want you to think about your health, your well-being. Perhaps you're somebody who feels stuck in your ability to transform your health, or you get relatively good health, but you know there's more vibrancy, more aliveness you could feel. You're not as good as you would like to be, perhaps. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is consider in this area of just health and well-being, I want you to give yourself a score. Somewhere between 1 and 5, 5 being amazing. You couldn't imagine your health and well-being being any better, and 1 being you couldn't possibly imagine it couldn't get any worse. Okay? Very few of us are an actual 5 or a 1, but if you feel it's there, please be honest with yourself and rank yourself. Your health and well-being, give a grade 1 to 5. 1's the worst, 5's the best. Okay? Then we'll move into the next domain, which is love and relationships. Now, in love and relationships, maybe you're somebody who longs to have this beautiful, deep, fun, passionate relationship with a loving and caring partner. Or you have that partner, but you'd love to deepen and expand and have more fun with this relationship that you're already in. Again, like we did previously, we're going to grade ourselves 1 through 5. Give yourself a grade, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. What are the current results that you're getting in love and relationships? What grade would you give yourself? Now to bring us to our third domain now, we're going to talk about vocation. Vocation, or how you express yourself. This isn't necessarily profession or job, but rather how you express yourself. You may work at a bank, but you express yourself through the amateur theater in your town, and that's your vocation, your expression. I want you to consider now, what are those results? Maybe you're somebody who feels stuck in a job you don't like. Or you like your work, but you work too many hours and you want more time freedom to pursue other expressions. So, on a scale of 1 through 5, give yourself a grade for your current results. How do you feel your vocation or your expression is going for you so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Finally, that'll bring us into time and money freedom. This is what brings an awful lot of people an awful lot of angst. Maybe you're someone who feels out of balance, like you've got more time than money or more money than time, and you'd love to feel more in harmony. 1 through 5. What are your current results as you would grade them in time and money freedom? Are you a 1? Are you a 5? Give yourself that grade. Awesome. We've now looked at all 4 domains here, and in our life assessment, we've given ourselves a grade of 1 through 5 for each one of these 4 domains: our health and our well-being, our love and relationships, our vocation, our expression, and our time and money freedom. Now, I want you to consider perhaps which one of those was the lowest grade that you gave yourself. And if you have 2 of the lowest grade, and they're kind of tied, think about which one you feel more strongly about that you would like to improve. And that'll bring us right into key number 1 for mastering your results. Now that we know where we are, we've done that life assessment. Number 1 step here to master your results is design your dream. You just defined and assessed your current status, where you are now. And I'm pretty sure nobody out there had a whole stream of fives. Something in there wanted more growth. It wanted to be better. So we start now with designing. What is that more growth? What is that better? Where do we want to get to? As His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, in order to carry a positive action, we develop here a positive vision. So let's develop that vision for our best life. Or as C.S. Lewis says, you're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Everybody can set a new goal and dream a new dream. Harriet Tubman tells us that every great dream begins with a dreamer. You are that dreamer. I love this quote from Henry David Thoreau from his book, or as some people call it, the poem Walden. I want you to consider these words that I read to you. If one advances confidently in the direction of their dreams, endeavoring to live the life they are imagining, one passes an invisible boundary. All sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. One begins to meet with a success unexpected in common hours. New, more universal, more liberal laws begin to establish themselves around that person, or the old laws are rearranged in one's favor. Nevertheless, one begins to live with the license of a higher order of being, all from simply advancing confidently in the direction of their dreams. I feel so strongly about advancing in the direction of our dreams with confidence. I actually have that tattooed on my arm, a little hard to see from there. I live this. I live these principles every day of my life, and I want to show you how to do the same thing. So I want to give you an opportunity now to actually take stock of that dream. I want you to be able to write down, I want you to journal for a couple of minutes, okay? And if you need to come back to the recording and do this again, that is just fine. When we do that, I want you to consider the three words right now. Clarity is power. As we design our dream, it is incredibly important that we are very detailed in what we are capturing. Because by writing this out, by thinking about this, by speaking it, reading it, we are actually telling the universe, we're communicating to the universe what it is we want. Well, the more detail we can give the universe, the more the universe can give to us, specifically the way we're seeking. So do you see how this works? You go to a car dealer and say, hey, I want a car. That's kind of broad. The more details you give, the easier this is. The easier it is for the car salesman to get you that car. Same thing with the universe of possibilities that we all live in. The more details we give to our dream, the easier it is for the universe to give it to us. So clarity is absolute power. It will drive everything that we do. Now, the quality of our lives is determined by the questions we ask. And I've got a really important question for you as we begin journaling what our dream life might look like. I want you to consider very carefully, what would you love? Notice love is in all caps. Not what would you like? What would be nice? What would you love? Love, what would make your whole life and your whole being come alive with vibrance? We're going to do a little exercise here called the time machine. Of course, this being Doc Brown's DeLorean time machine here from the movie Back to the Future. We're going to take this time machine 3 years into the future. Why 3 years? Well, because it's far enough into the future that it's easier to separate in our human brains from what we think would be possible in just 1 year. If you only set forth 1 year, it's human nature to think, well, what do I think is possible in 1 year? 3 years is far enough away that lets us kind of detach from the worldliness that wants to say, well, what are the constraints? What are the details? What do you need? We don't want any of that. We want to move forward into 3 years out from now as though everything worked out. Every resource necessary to live that dream came to us, and it all worked out perfectly. In fact, with ease. And remember, we're going to use a lot of clarity in this. So, a couple of design tips that I want to give you as you prepare to journal out what your dream life looks like. Notice your longing and discontent. What are you longing for more of? What are you discontent with and want less of? Use those things to help inspire the description of your dream life that you love living. Also, describe it in detail. You want to talk about the beach house you live on. Well, what's it look like? Is it made of cedar shakes? Does it have a green door? Does the patio walk right out onto the beach, or do you go over a dune? How does all that work? Is it on the Pacific coast? Is it on the Atlantic coast? Give us full details. Okay, what does it smell like? How many rooms are in that house? Whatever it might be, whatever your particular dream is, describe it in detail. And most importantly of all, keep it positive. As an example, if time and money freedom is one of your big concerns and you think about credit cards, let's not just say you're debt free, because that focuses on the word debt. Let's say the balances are zero. What a wonderful positive way to say it. My balances are zero and there's $2 million in my bank account. All positive things, not plenty of money, or I'm not poor, or I'm not hurting for money, but I have $2 million. Keep it positive. Use distinct descriptions. Okay? And most importantly, keep it in the present. You are talking about what is happening 3 years from now, October 30th, 2028. This is happening now. Imagine you are speaking to someone you haven't seen in 3 years and you're telling them right now in present tense, this is what's going on in my life. Use your longing and discontent. Describe your dream life in detail. Use positive descriptions and keep it in present tense. So what would you love? I want you to begin by writing on your paper this phrase, very, very important. I'm so happy and grateful now that. This sets the tone for how we begin to pour our dream out onto the paper. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to journal. What does that amazing life that you're so happy and grateful to be living look like? Remember to keep it positive. Tell yourself all the amazing things that are happening right now. Give the detail. Tell us all about that amazing car or that beautiful work that you do in the world now. Tell us about the love of your life. What do they look like? What's their name? What do they like to do? Where are they from? All those details, positive details, and they're happening now. You might notice as you begin to journal that more and more detail and more ideas come to mind. It's how it works. It really is. The more you tell yourself, the more you tell the universe, the more it comes to you. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and bring that in for a landing, wrap up the sentence you're writing now. And I hope you feel like this wasn't enough time. I hope you feel like you're gonna be in need of writing more and more of this. I really do. And we have a phrase to use for that in case you feel as though, well, there were some things I didn't get to write. I had some more ideas. Follow up now with this or something even greater still. This or something even better still. So what you've written now, it will evolve. As you start to live that future you vision, you achieve bits of it and bigger dreams come into it. So you give yourself space to live the bigger dreams. And we write that out and we embody that and we live into that by saying this or something even better still. Now that's it. Step one, design your dream. That was easy, wasn't it? You know where your longing is and where your discontent is? And you can simply imagine a distance in the future, such as 3 years, and start designing. What would you love? Giving it clarity and distinct detail. Yeah, you did it. Well done. I celebrate you. It brings us straight to key number two now. Step number two is now decide for your dream. You've started to design a beautiful new life. Let's get you to decide for it. Bob Proctor, the great author and self-help guru, he says in one of his books, there is a single mental move you can make which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. And it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this magic mental activity. It is called decision. Make that decision. Now, deciding for new results is a big deal. To decide, I want these new results. I'd like you to have a look at this slide. Consider this right now. According to research at Stanford University, it doesn't matter what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. Well, this is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. And if you're on Facebook Live with us here, you can't see these slides, but know that the words are all jumbled up, except the first letter and the last letter were in the right place. You may have seen an example like this before. The takeaway here, the kicker is, as long as we know the first and the last, the middle doesn't matter. The middle will work itself out. That goes right along with living our dreams too. When we decide for new results, as long as we know where we are now, and we know where we would love to be, the how in the middle does not matter at all. The how will work itself out. We said in the beginning, how many of you have achieved dreams in your life that you didn't know how to do when you started, but they happened? You don't have to know the how to take a step and start moving. So you've got this dream that you began to look at. Part of deciding for this dream to help you make that decision, is this worthy of me? Is this where I want to go? Is what we call the 5-point test. 5 elements to help you decide, is this dream worthy of my effort? Am I worthy of this dream? Number 1, does that dream give you life? Does it bring you alive? Do you feel that excitement and that warmth inside you? Number 2, does it align with your core values? Does it go against who you believe you are? Or does it really help fulfill those important values in your life? Does it cause you to grow? In other words, is it bigger than you are now? If it isn't bigger than you are now, it's not really much of a dream. It's just a task on your daily to-do list, right? You want something that makes you have to grow because it's big. It's a dream, not a task on our to-do list. Number 4, does it require help from a higher power? Whatever you may want to call that higher power, or external agency. If it's something you can do on your own, again, it's a job on your list. But if it requires external agency and help, whether you call that a higher power or the external universe and all of its wealth of capability and energy, or whatever, does that require does your dream require that assistance? And then finally, point number 5, does it have good in it for others? And this can be a tough one. Sometimes people say, well, I'm looking for the love of my life. How does that help other people? One way of looking at that particular example is, have you ever seen two people in love? Did it bring you joy? Did it make you happy to see it, even if just in a moment? That's got good in it for others. So sometimes you simply have to look at your dream and say, well, from what aspect does it have good in it for others? And it doesn't say it has to have tons of good. It could be a little bit of good. It could be life-changing for everybody else. Doesn't matter as long as it has good for others. So if your dream follows this 5-point test and you've got a yes across the board here, that was key number 2. You've decided this is good stuff. Key number 3 now. Befriend your fear. Are you ready to take the step, the first step to get there? Very often, our mind will say, yeah, right, that ain't going to happen. Or, how are you going to do that? Or, where will you find the time? Or, where will you get the money? These are the sort of things that get in our way. These give us fear. These are what we call paradigms. And the paradigms are there trying to keep you safe. You don't need to know where the money will come from. You don't need to know where the time will come from. You don't need to know how you're going to do it. And you don't need to have seen that it happened already. You know that it can. You know that it's your dream. Anybody feel this before? I feel these paradigms all the time. We all do. Part of you is going to say, heck yeah, I love that dream. That dream's amazing and I'm going to go forward and do it. But part of you also says, what if I fail though? I'm afraid, I'm scared. Yeah, that can happen. Let me give you an example here of some things that many of us don't recognize. We've all failed many, many times in our lives, and yet we've still achieved. When we learn to walk, when you learn to walk, you actually failed. How do kids learn to walk? You get a little baby, and they're crawling around or whatever on the ground, and then they're getting ready, and you want them to take those first steps. And what do they do that first time? Well, they kind of crawl up, hike themselves up on a sofa or a table or whatever, right? And then they're balancing. And the only way they're staying there is because they're holding on. But they lock eyes on a toy or a snack, a cookie or something, right? Something that they want, right? A longing. And they take a step. And what happens the first time they take a step? They fall down. They fall down. And they still want that toy or that cookie or what have you. And so they hoof themselves back up on the sofa or the table. They get themselves up onto their feet. And they lock their eyes on that goal one more time and take another step. And what happens the second time? The second time they fall again. No baby walks on just the second try. In fact, they keep falling over and over and over again, just like you did when you learned to walk. And I guarantee none of you at any point in your pre-toddlerhood sat there and said, well, I guess that's it. I just wasn't meant to be a walker. Of course not. You kept going and you took a step and then you fell down and then you were able to take 2 steps before falling and then 3 and then 4 and you got better and better. And now you are a walker, right? We all learn to walk by falling down. This is how it works for all of us. We learn to walk by falling down, and falling down can simply be failure on our way. And failure is good news because failure says it's the universe saying you're on your green growing edge and you're growing and you're making better. Look at these examples of people who had failure. Oprah Winfrey, we all know who she is, right? Did you know she was fired by TV executives early in her broadcast career because she wasn't fit for TV? Well, she has her own network now. She's a billionaire, all these good things. How about Steven Spielberg, the great director? He was rejected from USC Film School 3 times. What do you think about that? To be rejected 3 times, but then ultimately go there means you have to apply at least 4 times. That is stick-it-to-itiveness. Stick-it-to-itiveness. That's sticking to it, isn't it? Right? That is drive. That's commitment. That's a longing. That's deciding for his dream. The man who wanted to start Starbucks, his loan application for their very first Starbucks coffee shop rejected 242 times. 242 times he was told, nope, no business loan for you. This is crazy. It's not going to work. But of course, as we know, Starbucks, probably the biggest coffee chain in the world now, definitely worth billions of dollars. Fear and failure are absolutely prerequisites for achieving great dreams. It's going to happen. You're going to stumble, you're going to fall, you're going to be afraid. But we befriend our fear and we take our steps anyway. Because part of you definitely wants to go forward, part of you wants to stay small, and what you simply have to say is, fear, not today. Not today. I'm not going to let you get in my way, fear. I'm going to take a step, no matter how small. I'm going to take a step in the direction of my dream. Fear, doubt, worry, they're all going to be there. But all they are is little old paradigms trying to keep you from your dream, your great big beautiful dream. So take action, a small action, a single action. Take an action. Consider what's one action I can do to get me closer to my dream, and take that action. So those 3 keys. Number 1, designing your dream. Number 2, deciding for your dream. And number 3, befriending your fear. If you can do these 3 things, which I know you can, you will see results. You will create those results by design and no longer by default. Now, you are absolutely worthy of your dream and the life that you love living, so don't give up on that dream. I would love to help you follow through and complete that design of that dream and give you the additional tools to keep you on track and help you get there as quickly as possible. So as promised, as I said in the beginning, I have a gift for you. I've given you my best. And now for those of you who feel that this is something that you absolutely want to move forward with and you would like more information, I have a gift, a free gift for you. You can use the QR code here on the screen to book a free 60-minute strategy session with me, like a discovery call. You and I together on Zoom, and we can talk through the details of what your dream looked like. What are some of the paradigms that you experience? Where's the longing? Where's the discontent? And I would like to help you define what that map to your greatest, most beautiful life that you love living, what that looks like. And you can also simply use my email address, Miranda@dreambuilderundeniablyu.com. Just put a subject line of strategy session and let me know how to get a hold of you. We'll figure out the date and time. This is a free 60-minute session with me. This is valued at about $250 to just have a one-on-one hour-long session with a life coach to help further define and design the route to your dream life. From me to you, because I love this work, I love what I do, and I love seeing people live into their greatest dreams. Now, before we go, I want to share with you one final story of dreams and deciding and befriending fear. William H. Murray. William H. Murray was a renowned mountain climber in the early 20th century. And William Murray, he had an Everest-sized dream. He, along with many mountaineering men of those times, wanted to summit Mount Everest, and it hadn't been done yet. So along comes his associate, Edmund Hillary. You may have heard of. Edmund Hillary was also another great renowned mountain climber of the time. And Hillary came to Murray and told him, I'm putting together an expedition. We're going to summit Mount Everest. We're going to make it work. I'd like you to come with me. Will you come with me on the expedition? And Murray He wants to come, so he asks a question. Remember, the quality of our questions determines the quality of our life. Murray asks a question, how much? Well, Hillary tells him what the total bill is. This is what it costs to join our expedition, your portion. Murray says, well, I don't have that money. Sorry. He steps away from that dream. He had the dream. He stepped away from it. So Hillary continues, and he's got his team, and they do their expedition. They don't quite make it to the top of Mount Everest, though. They get close. And a few years later, he's putting together another expedition. He comes back to William Murray, and he says, hey, we're doing this again. We're going to try it again. We know more now, and I think we're going to make it this time. And I still want you on the team because I think you're going to be critical. And Murray, again, thinking in common hour, condition-based thinking, wanting to see green lights all the way before he pulls out. He says, well, how much? Hillary tells him. He says, I don't have that money. Still don't have it. Sorry. Very condition-based. Hillary says, darn. Goes on. Does his expedition. They still don't make it, but boy, did they get close. A couple years later, Hillary's putting together what he believes is going to be the final expedition. They're going to make it this time. And he comes back to Murray. He says, I need you this time. I think you are the critical piece. We need you desperately. I need you to find a way to come. Murray this time asks a better question. Instead of asking how much, he says, well, what's the deposit to get my name on the roster, to get on the list, to say that, yes, I'm in? That didn't mean he had the money or knew where that deposit was going to come from. But he asked a different question. And that, by moving forward confidently in the direction of his dream, created new results for him. And the universe began to conspire to support him. The money for the down payment came. In fact, from resources that he could never have imagined, by changing his thought process and his energy in the universe around this dream of summiting Mount Everest. All of the resources began to come to him. And of course, Hillary and Murray, they did summit Mount Everest on that third and final expedition, mostly due to the fact that Murray navigated what is now the northern face route that is the common route. He was critical, but so is asking a better question and being decisive in deciding for his dream and befriending his fear. He wrote a book about this journey, about this process, and in it he quotes, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. He goes on to say, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it, because boldness has genius and power and magic in it. That's a couplet from Goethe. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness of action, has a genius and a power and a magic in it. So does your dream, and so do you, and I believe in you, and I want to be here to help you live into your dream with boldness and discover the genius and the power and the magic of your dream. Thank you for your time. Please reach out. I am here to help you live the life you absolutely love, just like I get to live every day of my life. Thank you for being a part of this with me.